What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Soul Therapy YouTube channel. We're starting a brand new series that I'm calling Soul Talk. Every single Sunday, I'm going to be coming here in front of the camera and giving you guys an update on the sneakers that I bought throughout the week and also covering some of the biggest stories in sneakers. I'm really excited. I plan to bring on guests and in the future, hitting up different coffee shops, as that's one of my side passions that I really do want to incorporate on this channel. This is going to kind of take place as more of like an audio podcast format, and I apologize for this first episode. I am facing a cold right now, so my nose is a little bit stuffy and my voice is maybe not the clearest, but we're working on that, and this is such a busy month for sneakers. I really can't miss out on that. So what I want to do first is cover some of the pickups that I bought this week. It's only 2 shoes, which I know that seems like a lot for most people, but that's kind of like a less than usual number for me. But hey, let's get into them. The first sneaker that I want to show you guys were the Onitsuka Tigers. I've been wanting to pick these up for a minute. I was debating whether between this and the Kill Bill colorway, but I ended up going with these just because I feel like they're so versatile with my wardrobe, and honestly, throwing them on foot, they fit a little different than I expected. They're extremely comfortable for a sneaker like this. Of course, it's not being any like Nike running sneaker, but for the shoe, the type of shoe that it is, it's honestly a really comfortable pair of kicks, and the design is just fantastic looking. These are so slim and low profile, definitely in that Puma Speed Cat territory, but for me personally, the Puma Speed Cats just did not work with my foot. They looked really weird and I didn't find them to be that comfortable, even though the quality is really nice on that. So I bought these off of eBay. I paid $100 brand new, which is a fairly good price. You can't really find these in the States, and they only get shipped out from, I believe, Japan is where they predominantly are sold. This black and white colorway, like I said, is just fantastic, and I will have a review going up soon on the channel. I can't wait to throw a lot of outfits together with this pair of kicks, and it's really going to get a lot of wear for me. And since it's such a low top sneaker, you can wear this in both the wintertime and the summertime, which makes it phenomenal for all year round. And then the next pair of kicks that I bought were, of course, the big hitters. And honestly, I'm not going to go too in depth with this because I kind of have a whole segment planned out for it. But of course, it's nothing less than the Jordan 5 Metallic Reimagines. And I know people were kind of complaining that their box didn't really come with any reimagined treatment. People are saying, oh, it's just a basic Jordan 5 box, which, hey, I'm not complaining with, but mine definitely did get some reimagined treatment. The employees were kind of manhandling. You know what? It's still cool. Shout out to the people over there at JD. Help me scoop up this pair. Super excited having the collection, and I can't wait to get more in detail with how the release went with this, because honestly, it's been a big standout compared to how all the other drops have been going in the last couple of months for sneakers. So that's the recent pickups that I had. Let me know in the comments down below if you like those pickups, and also let me know if you picked up the Metallic 5s as well. And now we're gonna get on to our next segment. It's gonna be our 2025 for sneakers. So is Nike oversaturating the market with heat? This is something that's kind of come up to debate recently, especially after we've seen all the leaked sneakers for 2025. And it's truly incredible the volume of shoes that we are getting. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do think it's kind of getting to the point where it's too much good stuff. I mean, in February alone, we had the BRED 85's and we had the Metallic 5's. And those sneakers, you buy both of those, that's damn near $500 right there after taxes. So that's pretty incredible if you ask me, and it's a lot of money to be spending on shoes. And I know a lot of people weren't even able to get those BRED 85's for that retail of $250. So if you take that into consideration, it's even more if you're trying to spend on shoes that you consider to be the biggest releases. So yes, it's going to be an expensive month for sneakers, expensive year for sneakers, and I just want to tell you guys, be mindful with what you're buying. Like, if you really want a pair of kicks, that's great, but make sure you look at all the future releases so you don't get that FOMO and you don't regret it, and you're able to look back and be like, okay, I already got the sneaker that I really wanted for this year. Because I would hate for you to buy some shoes earlier in the year that you really were kind of mixed on, just to miss out on a sneaker later in the year. Like I said, there's so many great kicks. No need to feel worried if you missed out on the 85's or if you missed out on the Metallics. There's going to be great kicks coming up as well. And that's going to go into our sneaker prices too high. I think if we're purely looking at the retail price, it definitely is a high market right now. Like all the shoes that are coming out are $200 plus, especially with the 85s. If we're moving in a direction where shoes like that are going to be $250, we're talking about really serious payments here. It's no longer, oh, I'm just throwing $180 for a Jordan 1 and calling it a day. It's actually a mindful decision that you have to make. It's not really just, a buy that you're able to make just sporadically. It definitely is going to take more thought and consideration, which kind of ties into our last point. So I think it's kind of bad to the point where I think people might buy the releases that are earlier in the year, and the later releases in the year might not do as well, just because people won't have the same amount of money to buy that. I know people are getting their tax returns, and people have been calling this the metallic 5s, the tax return 5s, and it's really true. When people have more money in their pocket, they're definitely willing to spend on goods that aren't completely necessary. So I think as we see a little bit later into the year, prices may just kind of fall in the secondary market, but I still expect those retail prices to stay high, if not get even higher. And that's going to lead us on to our next topic. What shoes am I personally looking forward to the most? And honestly, for me, I'm really excited about the white cement 4s that are returning in 2025. I had the pair of the 2016s, and honestly, they were so uncomfortable, I had to get rid of them. It's something about that old Jordan shape. It just closes in so tightly on my pinky, and they were the right size. They were the right size, and they were in really good condition. So it had nothing to do with that. It's just the way that it's shaped. It's not shaped, like ergonomic for an actual human foot. If someone finds those 2016 white cements comfortable, please let me know down below. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but in comparison, the BRED 4s, the reimagined pair, are so comfortable. That midsole feels amazing, and I don't know if it's just my pair, but this is literally the most comfortable Jordan sneaker that I do own. So I'm really hoping that the white cement 4s get similar treatment, and I'm hoping the leather quality is about on par with this reimagined 4s, as honestly, those and the metallic 5s are the only sneakers that I'm really intending to keep in my personal collection. Of course, I'm going to be buying other shoes throughout the year, but I'm definitely going to be flipping those and maybe returning them just to deliver reviews to you guys. So I'm excited about those. The UNC ones, the UNC colorway is my favorite colorway of all time, but we've seen recently some early images of the UNC ones, and I can't lie, I don't think they look that good. I don't know if it's the shape. I don't know if it's just the cut of the normal Jordan 1 OG. It's just not doing it for me. They have the same lost and found treatment. That means they're coming a little bit vintage, a little bit aged. A part of me wishes that we just got a fresh, clean pair, but hey, when I get the shoe in hand, I might change my mind, but for now, I'm really leaning on no, not picking those up, which is kind of crazy since I especially love that colorway. Now, we're gonna go a little bit more in depth with the releases of this week. Of course, we have to start with the Jordan 1 85 BREDs. These have been the talk of the town. And if you look at the prices, before the releases, I would say like about a week ago, we were up over $1,000 for most sizes, which was absolutely insane, but they quickly shot down. I think these pairs weren't as limited as people was expecting, or people just don't value sneakers in the same way that they used to, because now the sizes are going for right around, I'm seeing a range from $450 to $650. And don't get me wrong, that's still expensive for the sneaker, but for it to drop down from 1,000 plus all the way back to earth around 500, 550, that really shows that even though the sneaker I think is limited, I don't think it was restricted to 10,000 pairs. I'll tell you that much. The stock numbers that we see sometimes are very misleading on how much the sneakers are being allocated to these stores, because I had personal friends who went to Success and were able to get a pair on first come, first serve. And I really wish that they had, dropped that post a little bit earlier. I was in class, so unfortunately, I was not able to go and try to scoop up those 85 BREDs as much as I wanted to. It was just not feasible for me to do. I kind of wish they would have done it this Saturday, just threw it on the weekend so more people could pop out. But I think they did it in a kind of a shock drop nature, just to get, I guess, the most people a chance to buy the sneakers and not cause a dangerous scenario, which we have been seeing, which leads me on to the second release. the metallic 5's. And people went crazy over the sneaker. It's kind of sad and truthfully a little bit disappointing to see people getting violent over this release. And honestly, this shoe is reselling. It's reselling for around, I think in my size, $320. But after fees, after taxes, there's really not a lot of money to be made on this shoe. I don't know if this is from people who genuinely wanted the shoe, who are getting violent over it, or only had intentions to resell. Either way, it's unacceptable in my opinion. And I think Jordan Brand could do a better job at really helping these retailers facilitate a peaceful way of distributing these shoes. There was no shock drop on the sneakers app, which I think led to a lot of people wanting these shoes and not being able to secure a pair early, so they had to wait till release day. And at least for me, I went to JD Sports in downtown Chicago, and big props to them. They handled the release extremely well. They had everyone lined up outside. There was nobody cutting. There was a lot of people just talking genuinely about shoes and their passion for it and their excitement for the release, which I think is the way things should be. Keep it calm, keep it peaceful, keep it orderly. And I was able to secure a pair. I wasn't even able to get a size 12. And honestly, guys, I don't know when's the last time I wasn't able to pick up a new Jordan release in my size without ease. You know, it's pretty crazy that I had to almost settle for an 11.5, which still does fit. We'll go in a little bit more after I bring out the metallic 5's, but it's pretty ridiculous that I wasn't able to secure that pair. I did get the 11.5 and I'm happy to do so, but there was a huge line, and I entered the line around 15-20 minutes after the store opened, so I was there fairly early too. And from what I had heard internally, there wasn't that many pairs. There was around, I believe, 100 to 200 pairs in men's and kid sizing, and I know the kid sizing was absolutely flying quick. Which is ridiculous, and I think it's awesome that people really love this shoe. I personally think it's my favorite sneaker of the year so far, and I know I said this in my review, it's super early, it's just February, but it's really a phenomenal pair of kicks. And with that being said, I think now is the best time, if ever, to bring them out the box and just show you guys what they come with and just tell you like how excited I was to see these. Firstly, big props to Jordan Brand for putting a separator between the shoes just so they don't get damaged in shipment. I think my pair had a little bit of like scuffs and some stuff on the toe box that I removed, and that's honestly not the biggest deal, but I really like the attention to detail. They also come individually wrapped in this plastic wrap bag, which is also another step to keeping these nice. And this is even another precaution right here. This is just a little cardboard insert that goes where the tongue is. It just protects that 3M on that tongue during the shipment process. Fantastic. Like, just small stuff like this really goes a long way, especially when you're paying so much for a sneaker. You would hope that they're able to come in at least really good condition. You also get an extra set of black laces included in the packaging. Great to have these. I personally was not so sure of the white laces when I first saw images, but now that I got them in person, you have to keep the white laces on. That's an absolute mandatory. So it came with that. Let me see if I have the Nike Air tag somewhere in here. I'm sure it is. Let me just scuffle around for it. Here it is. You also get the translucent Nike Air tag. This is really cool. Honestly, people who wear this with their kicks, I'd never understand. That would never be me in a million years, but hey, to each their own. Another thing that I was uncertain of, because to be honest guys, this is my first pair of 5's. This is the only 5's that I have in my collection. This is the only 5's that I've ever spent money on, which is pretty ridiculous. But it comes with this lace lock right here. And honestly, I've always been put off by the lace lock. It's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't gravitated to the 5's. That and just because of how chunky they are. You can see kind of like this padding right here on the ankle area is extremely chunky, even though they did a good job with the silhouette and slimming it down. But as you can see, the lace lock is pretty obscure. I mean, you don't see that on a lot of pair of kicks, so I didn't really know what to do with it or how to style it, but honestly, I think it looks fine. It looks really fine if you just like put it there. I know some people take out the red part and just leave the plastic bits to the side, but I think it adds more character and accessories to it, so you can't go wrong with that. Now, when it comes to the materials themselves, it's all fully synthetic. It's a synthetic nubuck, which I think is pretty accurate to what the original pair was. It's supposed to be pretty durable from what I feel, and honestly it feels really nice to the touch, which I think is what absolutely matters, is how it looks and how it feels, and it looks and feels great. There's no complaints at all with that. And like I said, the toe box is a little bit slimmer, as you can see, a little bit more true to the OG instead of being so fat and chunky and boxy, which was another reason that I'd never wanted to really buy 5's for myself. But as you can see, all the translucent hits look phenomenal on this pair. Eventually they will turn yellow, but hey, wear your sneakers. I think it adds more character when you have more of that vintage look to them, so I'm not complaining. Honestly, for $210, I think this is a great sneaker. Now, would I pay resale for it? I don't personally think I'd pay resale for this, and that's just because I personally am not the biggest fan of 5's, even though I think these are a phenomenal sneaker and I do like the OG colorways. The 5's still are not the sneaker that I think is the easiest to style and easiest to wear, with this being an obvious exception. So if you were to get a 5 and you had to get a 5, buy these. That's just simply, this is the 5 to get. So honestly, great sneaker. Jordan Brand really killed it. Size 11.5, like I mentioned, I was not able to secure the 12, but honestly, that's not the biggest of deal. They still fit really well. Not the most comfiest sneaker, I'll tell you that right away. I mean, you do get a polyurethane insole, but besides that, you're not getting really that much cushion in this pair of sneakers at all. But really good release. Shout out to Jordan Brand for actually killing it with these, and shout out to JD for helping me secure a pair. All right, now we're gonna get to the next topic. Has Nike brought back sneaker hype? And I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna say no. Obviously, with these last two releases, they've brought back the hype. People are excited, people are waiting in lines, people are spending money on the after retail, on the secondary market, just to secure their own pairs. So to a certain extent, yes, they have. But let's keep in mind, guys, this is 2 pairs of kicks. It's been months since we've seen a shoe genuinely sell out and not go for under retail before the release. And that's just the kind of economy that we're in right now. So while I think Nike has done a great job with the marketing for the BRED 85's, I personally think they could have made more pairs, dropped them at 200, and people would have been just as excited, which is a little bit disappointing that they didn't go in that direction. I know they put a lot of attention to detail with those 85 breads, but it's still no excuse not to make more pairs available for people. So yes, as of now, Nike has brought back the sneaker hype, but we have to keep in mind there's a whole year left of kicks and a whole year left of releases. If we look into the near future, the Black Toe Reimagines I don't think are going to be selling for anything crazy. On the secondary market, they're already going below retail after them trying to spread the marketing campaign with Unbannable, which we'll go into a little bit later in depth and detail. But I think there's still a lot of time left for Nike to either carry the momentum, carry the motion, or slow down and return back to how things have been. I'm hoping it's not that way, and I'm also hoping that there's pairs available for people who can buy them. You know, resellers, if you want to make your money, go for it 100%, but I think it's awesome when people who genuinely want the sneaker are able to get it. And I think we're also at a point where if you truly want a pair of kicks, you can't blame resellers. You need to do your due diligence, go enter raffles, go show up on release day, try for exclusive access, get your accounts right on JD, on Finish Line. And if you do those steps, you're going to touch a pair. And even if you're not able to get your size, you can always just trade up for your size too. So I really think there's no excuses to be blaming resellers, especially with GR releases like this. Now, if it's a more limited pair, I truly understand that, but hey, that's just the nature of something being limited. If it's being limited, that's what it is. Our next topic. Okay, now moving on into an interesting topic. Marcus Jordan was recently arrested. This has showed up everywhere. Marcus Jordan was pulled over by the cops. He was driving while intoxicated, and they found some of that snow. They found some of that, white piping, white lining in his vehicle, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, Marcus Jordan has received a lot of criticism for trophy room and backdooring a whole lot of sneakers and making a lot of money off of that. And I think the fact that as soon as he was arrested, he brought up his father's name just kind of shows his character. And obviously, I don't know the guy. I can't judge what he's been through or what he's experiencing, what he's facing. But I truly hope that he gets the help that he receives, because driving while intoxicated like that is extremely dangerous and it puts other people's lives at risk. So I would hope that he's able to take this lesson to heart, able to do whatever kind of recovery that he needs, so he no longer puts himself and puts others in a harmful situation like that. And honestly, that's about as much as I have to say. I know a lot of people are memeing the guy, saying that, oh, he's bannable and stuff like that, putting the ban block over his face, which I kind of I think it's pretty funny. But this situation could have been a lot more deadly and a lot more dangerous. I think it's important to keep that in mind. All right, our next topic. We talked about this briefly, but the Black Toe Reimagined is coming back next week. And it's kind of hard to determine where the levels of hype are at with this release. Like I mentioned, they're going under retail. That means people are not willing to dish out a lot of money for this pair of kicks, which I completely understand. I mean, the quality on them, from what I've seen and from me touching them in person, is not that special. They're not an 85 cut, and they do have some good storytelling. I'll give them that. The storytelling is pretty nice. The box is awesome, but you don't wear the box. So there's only so much that is going to carry for it. I think the colorway is phenomenal. I mean, the black toe, you can never go wrong with that. But at least me personally, I'd rather go with the black toe lows. I feel like it's a much more versatile shoe that you can wear in both the summer and the winter. And you can just stack them up with some baggy jeans and people would not even know. So I honestly would personally recommend that pair over the high top pair. And just the Air Jordan on the side, I don't mind it because I'm a sneakerhead. I love the storytelling, I love the history. But if you're out and about and you don't have the Wings logo and you have the Air Jordan logo, I think most people, most of the general public who has nothing to do with this sneaker nerd shit would be like, that doesn't look as good as the Wings logo. And that's just my take on it. I think it's a solid enough release. They're trying to get Travis Scott to hype up the model by throwing him on there, which is kind of funny to see. I love when Nike's marketing team is just trying to throw whatever they can into Travis's feet, just so hopefully it rises in hype. But I think it's not going to be enough to completely save the release. I see the release as the shoes coming out, there'll probably be like a launched event on sneakers. When shoes don't really sell out on sneakers and they want to cut them off to make them seem like they're in more demand, they say launch ended instead of sold out. That's just a quick snippet for you guys. And I think what they're going to do is do a very limited launch on them on the sneakers app, just to make them seem like they're more in higher demand than they actually are. But when they get delivered to retailers, people are not going to really go out of their way for them. And I do see them being on sale for probably around $160. That's probably where they're going to stay. And if you want a pair of Jordan 1s, it's not a bad pair, especially for that lower price. I would honestly recommend it. And that's going to go out into our next topic, Nigel Sylvester. Nigel has been making waves. It started last year with the Jordan 4 RMs, and it even started before then with his other Jordan brand collabs with his Jordan 1s and all those good shoes. And I think it's great that we have another athlete who signed onto Nike and is absolutely killing it. And he's into the BMX, he's into all those extreme sports that really doesn't have to do anything with traditional sports. Quick coffee break. Cheers. But yeah, I think Nigel Sylvester has phenomenal potential with Jordan brand. I'm really excited to see his upcoming releases. Those Jordan 4s look phenomenal. And I'm really just like, it's awesome to see someone with so much forward momentum. So yeah, Nigel Sylvester has so much talent. I like his collabs. Those upcoming Jordan 4s look really nice, and I'm really excited to see where he goes from here. All right, speaking of bringing back old sneakers, the off-white Jordan 1s are coming back. And rest in peace to Virgil Abloh. Honestly, one of the greatest designers and one of the greatest persons to even touch the land of sneakers. We owe a lot to him. A lot of the design inspiration has been mimicked by others, but never replicated. So it's really awesome that they're able to go back into the vault and bring out some Jordan 1s that we haven't seen. I think this is the white colorway is what they're planning on bringing out, which, if correct me if I'm wrong, only released in Europe in very limited quantities. So to see that get a worldwide release is truly inspirational thing, and I think it's going to be an extremely hard pair to touch. I mean, all the off-white Jordan 1s go for a ridiculous amount of money, especially now. So I think this is going to be a hyped up release. It's going to be one of the hardest releases to ever get. Probably going to be very limited as well, and I hope they're able to kind of go back into that vault and keep bringing out some of the off-white collabs that we have seen. And I know some people are a little upset, oh, this ruins the value of the shoes and stuff like that. I think more people who are able to get the shoes is a W. That's just the way I look at it. I don't think the value is going to be affected that much. I don't see them dropping a crazy amount of quantities where the original's brick. So I'm really excited to see what other shoes they're able to grab in from the vault, but the Jordan 1 off-whites is a great start. All right, something that I wanted to talk about are the Galaxy Foamposites. They're coming out later this month, and as a kid, I used to love rocking Foamposites. I thought they were the coolest looking shoes. They were comfortable, I would hoop in them, and they were phenomenal. I mean, back in the day, I feel like 2012, maybe even a little earlier, 2008, you could get your hands on Foamposites at Marshall's. At least I know that's where my dad was picking them up, and I really enjoyed playing in them. I thought they were really great looking shoes, and of course at the time I didn't know the history with Penny Hardaway or any of that stuff. I just thought, hey, this is a cool Nike shoe, let me rock this. And the fact that they're bringing back Galaxies, which is a literal grail for most people, is awesome. I think a lot of people who've been wanting this pair for the longest are now finally able to get this, and I think personally it's the best Foamposite colorway, if not the best, the most influential Foamposite colorway, and it's really refreshing to see a sneaker that is not a Jordan, that is not a Yeezy, actually garner some hype. So I think these Foamposites are going to be movers, and people might sleep on them on release, but I do see them reselling as well. All right. Something that I've noticed recently going around to stores, especially Foot Locker, and if you're wondering where this Foot Locker is, downtown State Street, a couple other Foot Lockers too that I've seen. Kobe's are abundant now. Kobe's are easy to get. Now, the Kobe 9 Protros and all that are maybe not on the same level as some of the other models in terms of people's perception, but the fact that you can just go in a store now and pick up a Kobe 9 Elite Protro is pretty ridiculous. You know, it's a really phenomenal looking shoe, especially the Christmas colorway. I believe they dropped the Masterpiece colorway as well, and I saw both of those too when I was on downtown State Street. So if you're a Kobe fan, this is what you've been asking for the longest. Now the shoes are available. They're ready for you to just go and pick them up. I think this is great. I think this is a huge step in the right direction for Nike. It's just making these shoes available for people who are genuine fans of Kobe's and want to play in them. I mean, there was such a big market on people buying fake Kobe's just because it was so hard to get a real pair of Kobe Protros for a reasonable price. So now that they're making more quantities and releasing more colorways, I think it's just going to get better and better for the consumer. So I think that's a great step in the right direction. All right, something completely off related from sneakers. I want to do a little just break from that. I want to talk about this guy right here. If you don't know what it is, it's the Asus ROG Ally. And honestly, I'm not the biggest gamer at all, but Windows like handheld mini PCs like this always intrigued me, and I wanted to try one. So I found one open box. This is the Z1 Extreme version for $350, and I was like, you know what, I want to give it a try. I want to play Spider-Man 2 just because I hadn't played the game yet. I know it's been out for a minute, but they recently released it on PC, so I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to try it out. And honestly, I've been loving it. The biggest complaint is definitely the battery life. You're only getting about an hour's time, especially in like games like Spider-Man 2, which honestly is not the biggest deal for me. I'm a busy guy, so most times I'm just playing the game right before I go to sleep for like 30-40 minutes at most, and it just works out perfectly for me. Then I just chuck it back on charge, and I love the ability to just take it anywhere. If I want to relax on the sofa, if I want to just kick back in my bed, it's super easy to do so with it. So it's completely unrelated from sneakers, but I want to keep a little section of this Soul Talk to do stuff that's outside of shoes, because honestly, I have a life outside of shoes. I very much appreciate and love my life outside of shoes, and I want to share that with you guys as well. All right, next up, what have I been wearing the most? And we have to just reach over here. Honestly, not a far grab at all, but here it is. The Jordan 1 Low Howard University. I've been wearing these kicks so much. And the fact is, I used to have the black toe lows. I completely run them to the ground. Like, I had to get rid of them. There was no option. Heel drag was insane. But this was a really worthwhile replacement. The materials on here are really buttery. I love the little mini swoosh in the back. The embroidered Nike Air looks phenomenal, especially because unlike models like the black toes, it's just printed on there and that completely rubs off after time, which is just pretty disheartening. So these are a phenomenal pair of kicks. I don't think they go for that much over retail. If not, probably just hover around retail. So if you're looking for a Jordan 1 Low and you like navy blue and you like red, you shouldn't look any further than this. This is a phenomenal pair of kicks that you can just wear with just about anything. So that's what I've been wearing the most as of late. And now I want to hit you guys with a coffee recommendation. Right here, this cup, this mug that I bought was from Coffee Jumping Bean, my absolute favorite coffee place in the entire planet. They have really good just cafe lattes, cafe con leche. If you're into like Spanish heritage, you know, you like Mexican abuelita hot chocolate, you'll love this place, and most of the prices are reasonable. So I honestly couldn't recommend it enough. I literally bought a mug from them because that's how often I shop there, and it's such a great experience there. The workers there, the employees, make it such a cool little vibe. There's two shops. There's one on 18th Street in Chicago, Illinois, and then there's another one on Damon, I believe. It's right by the Pink Line train station. If you guys are Chicago natives, you know if you know. So I love this place. Couldn't recommend it enough, and I look forward to giving you guys more coffee recommendations because I'm truly a fiend for coffee. All right. Our final topic for the day is the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar coming out, and they're just playing a football game on the side of it. In reality, I think Kansas City is going to win again. I know the hate comments are going to come in. People are like, oh my God, not Kansas again, not Kansas again. Everyone is preying on Kansas's downfall. But I like Mahomes, man. He's just such a chill guy, bro. He got a cool, deep voice. I fuck with Mahomes, you know, cool, nice hair as well. So honestly, that's the biggest reason I want Kansas City to win. I think Mahomes is a cool dude. He's one of the greatest QBs. I know it's early to say ever, but he's definitely up there, and he's making his way towards there with his legacy. So I think Kansas City is going to bring home the Super Bowl and bring home the W. I think Kendrick Lamar is what I'm most excited for, though. His halftime performance, I'm not sure exactly what he's going to be performing. I'm assuming it's going to be songs from GNX, and he has SZA there alongside of him. So this should be a really killer performance. I'm excited to see if he throws some more external jabs at Drake. I know with the whole beef, it has been huge, and that song, Not Like Us, literally won 5 Grammys, which is completely ridiculous, and big props to him. He's one of my favorite artists. So personally, that's what I'm excited for tonight, and I can't wait to see what it is, and I'll definitely be reporting back next week and giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on how it goes. With that being said, that's going to wrap up this first episode of Soul Talk. I hope you enjoyed it so much. I had a lot of fun recording this. I really don't do videos like this too often, and most of the videos on my channel are literally less than 10 minutes. So this has been like a recap of the week, and I'm definitely still working on the format, still working on the setup. So please keep in mind that things are subject to change, and I'm definitely going to be improving the production values as we go along. With that being said, I appreciate your time. Make sure you leave a like and leave a comment down below what you would like to see me discuss on the next week's episode. And I truly appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and have a nice day.